So several weeks ago, I was at the Peoria City Council in Peoria, Illinois, and I was reporting because there were a number of pro-Palestine activists that were calling on the Peoria City Council to pass a ceasefire resolution, which called on, both Israel and Hamas to stop fighting, and both Israel and Hamas to release the hostages that they had. And of course, there were a number of Zionists that were there that were completely and utterly opposed to any type of ceasefire whatsoever. So throughout the majority of public comment, I'm sitting over in the press area just recording everybody, and I decided kind of last minute, which is something I don't normally do, to go up to the podium and give my own public comment. And basically, I pointed out how I believe everybody is equal. I'm equal to any Jewish person. I'm equal to any Muslim person, Arabic person, etc. And why I supported a ceasefire. And afterwards, I went up to probably Peoria's top Zionist, Susan Katz, who is the president of the Jewish Federation of Peoria. And I asked her if she would be willing to do an interview with me, because I have interviewed several pro-Palestinian people on the conflict. I did a street interview with two Israeli ISU students. You can find all these links in the description below. And I had reached out to her a couple times last year after the Al-Aqsa flood on October 7th, and didn't really get much of a response. So, I saw her there, so I went up and asked her. And during that, and I'll go ahead and show the video, she called me a rabid anti-Semite. So here's the clip of me going up and politely asking her if she'd be willing to do an interview with me.
Ms. Katz? Ms. Katz, is
I have nothing to say to you.
Gittrich Agitation
I have nothing
Rising.
to say to you, sir.
I would love to be able to do an interview with you.
You are not going to do an interview with me. You're a rabid anti-Semite. I will not speak to you.
Certainly not an anti-Semite.
I will not speak to you after what
I
you
believe
said
all of
tonight.
us are equal.
We're done.
Let's go.
A rabid anti-Semite, or I have anti-Semitic rabies. It's kind of hard. She was being a little hysterical. Now, to be clear, during my speech, I made it very, very clear that I believe everybody is equal to each other. Nobody's inherently superior or inferior based on their ethnicity or identity, etc., etc., etc. But unless I affirm her delusion that I, as somebody who's not Jewish, am somehow inferior to her, that means that I am a rabid anti-Semite. And I was shocked, I say, because I had always learned from Holocaust survivors, no less, that being anti-Semitic meant that you believed that Jewish people were inherently inferior, which is a belief that I've never held or expressed, which is very clear by the speech that I was given. But apparently, unless I, affirm her delusion that she is somehow superior to me, that makes me anti-Semitic. So you've heard of gender-affirming care. This is Zionist-affirming care. And this is actually a delusion. It's definitely one that I'm not going to affirm. Now, Ms. Katz might say, Zach, you rabid anti-Semite. I've never once said that Jewish people are inherently superior to anyone else. And as far as I know, that's true. I certainly have never heard her say that, and I never explicitly said that I had heard her say those exact words. However, she does support a Jewish ethno-state in historic Palestine called Israel. And in order to justify an ethno-state, one of your presuppositions has to be that whatever ethnicity you prefer is somehow special or unique or superior to any other type of group that might live in that land, and therefore you have the right to do whatever you want in order to maintain that ethnic superiority, that dominance, the power that a specific ethnicity would have. So say, for instance, somebody said they supported a white ethno-state. Well, again, in order to justify that, one of your presuppositions would have to be that white people are somehow inherently superior to other people, and that's why they deserve an ethno-state. Now, somebody might say, well, Zach, look, there's, ethno-states all around. This is the one Jewish ethno-state. Why can't they have an ethno-state? To be clear, I don't support any kind of forced settler colonial ethno-state, period. I just don't. I'm not just pointing out Israel and saying, well, they're the only ones. I don't support any ethno-states, period. Now, after I attempted to talk with Miss Katz, she asked the police to escort her and her group of Zionists out because they felt, they felt that they were in danger. She's the eternal victim. Of course, in the rotunda outside of the city council room, as well as outside, there were pro-ceasefire and anti-ceasefire people talking to each other perfectly fine. There was no problem whatsoever. But again, this whole idea that she's constantly in danger. And lo and behold, I discover that one of Miss Katz's cadre of supporters, a woman who was sitting right next to her throughout the city council meeting, made a hit piece video against me personally. Now, I'm not going to name this person or link to their video because I'm not going to give them any more oxygen or attention than they absolutely deserve, especially when you're trying to blatantly slander me. But in the video that they had, it says, disclaimer, this video is uploaded for public record and to alert the at-risk community of a potentially dangerous, hateful extremist in the city of Peoria, Illinois, named ZacharyGittrich. I do not promote, support, or condone the extremist views expressed in this video. This is not a dox, which is technically true. All the information that they end up showing in this video is completely public record. Unlike extremists such as Antifa, i.e., unlike anti-fascists that fight against anti-Semitism, I have not included home address, phone number, or other personal information, only his publicly available social media content and his public remarks at the City Council meeting on February 13th, 2024, to alert the Jews, Christians, and others who this individual may target or harm. Oh dear. Okay, so here is the hit piece video that was made by me. I did want to go through and let you be able to see the kind of crazy stuff that they will make up about you.
Prison. The Zionists recently said they're not hostages. They're prisoners. They're criminals. Remember, the Palestinian hostages were put through sham military tribunals, no objective judge, no partial jury.
How can we judge that?
Racist IDF soldiers.
Let's go and free everybody in the free.
And by that logic, Hamas would do a bunch of sham trials on the hostages they have. And then they would be prisoners. They would be legitimate prisoners according to what the Zionists said. And I started this by pointing out they're all equal. Because I believe we're all equal. Everyone people thinks we're all equal. The Zionists don't believe they're equal.
What?
They're a special people. They're God's chosen people. And because
Oh, here comes the anti-Semitic stuff.
they don't have to follow.
The anti-Semitic stuff. Again, I mean, this is what Zionists believe. If you go to Israel and you talk to hardcore Zionists, what they believe.
That's not what That's not chosen to be.
Because they're better than us.
It's chosen to follow the Christ.
I mean, we're all equal here. I have 12 same rules as everybody else here.
Wow.
And by the way, some of these subtitles are completely off. Again, the actual video to my speech you can find in the description.
There are people unlike any other people, and therefore they're allowed to do whatever they want. No matter how many children are murdered, no matter how many innocent hostages they take, the children that were actually verified that they were sexually assaulted and raped in Israeli torture dungeons. And that's what the ceasefire says. This ceasefire supports equality. People that oppose the ceasefire, no. They don't support equality. They support
Dungeons.
the idea that somehow
This nigga said dungeon.
everyone else, they don't have to follow anybody's rule. They don't have to follow international rule.
Yeah, so I mean, I said dungeons simply because I personally believe that most jails and prisons are functionally the equivalent of dungeons. I am a proud decarcerationist, so again, I'm not just pointing out that Israel has jails or prisons and calling them dungeons. I think that that's the way it is pretty much everywhere. It is also well documented that the IDF uses torture. So do most of the states around them. So do the United States of America. And I am just on principle against torture. At one point, this woman accuses me of a blood libel. And again, I'm in the press area sitting right next to her and Miss Katz, etc. And she was every other person to come up. She's like, blood libel, blood libel. And so in case you don't know what a blood libel is, it's a disgusting anti-Semitic trope that suggests that Jewish people ritualistically drink the blood of Christian babies. Now, I never once implied that in any way because it's not something I believe. I'll also put in the description a video of every single pro-ceasefire person that went up and spoke. None of them mentioned that in any way. But this is just like with the word anti-Semitism. They throw it around about literally everything. And so these terms that actually have real meaning suddenly become meaningless. It's like calling everybody a racist or stuff like that.
They're allowed to do whatever they want because they're special, and that guarantees that they can simply do more. And there's not going to be any consequences. I also know that people say, well, there's no hostage much. Except for two, which happened 2 days ago. Every single very hostage. That's this was not back. It's only occurred during the ceasefire.
Hamas.
There were 3 IDF soldiers that were being.
So notice how she speeds up the part where I point out that almost every hostage that Israel has gotten back from Hamas only occurred during a ceasefire, except for literally 2 that just happened like a week or 2 ago.
By Hamas. Then the IDF been murdered. When they were trying to see, they don't sure out yelling in Hebrew that white flag, but the Hannibal Doctrine, which is an Israeli doctrine that basically says you can do anything you want to prevent any Israelis or IDFs from being taken hostage and killing them. Yeah, the Hannibal Doctrine says, well, might as well kill their own people.
Just make it up stuff.
Terrible.
She said, I'm just making up stuff. There's a whole Wikipedia page about the Hannibal Doctrine. I mean, this has been around since like 1986.
So Hamas is just saying, well, ceasefire, because all the others have. You see what that's making Israeli hostage back. It's most effective to have most hostage back on them. If that ever happened, recent ceasefires. There's actually everyone release all remaining Israeli hostages, and some.
And the lady that's right in front of her that keeps like moving in and out with her person, that's actually Sue Katz.
8,000 Palestinian hostages. I mean, it would be completely disproportional. That's because the people that believe that they're better than everybody else don't view the Palestinians, or even view the Palestinians as humans as it is. What? So, of course, you can trade 1,000 Palestinian hostages for one Israeli hostage, but maybe you start making it. So, for those reasons, you should support this ceasefire.
And right here, she just shows my personal Facebook page. And she also shows images of my boyfriend, which I'm obviously not going to show here. My boyfriend's actually very apolitical. He's not really involved in any of this. A rabid Jew hater. Again, all this information is public. Oh no, I identify as a member of the LGBT. What does that have to do? What does that have to do with anything? Like, does this lady not know that there are gay Zionists? That there are even trans Zionists? It's not exactly clear why she's bringing up the fact that I'm a member of the alphabet community. And what she's showing right now is like it's not my political page, Agitation Rising. This is my philosophy page, Zach's Strange Corners of Thought. God is not pro-life. You're so small. Put some inches in me then. When somebody asks me how I'm doing, but I also don't want them to feel sorry for me, I'll probably be sad for the rest of my life. But other than that, I'm good. Yeah, so this person, John Reed, is a person that lives in Bloomington Normal, who is a neo-fascist that literally had to drop out of his race for a local school district because people were exposing all the like crazy batshit stuff that that he has a history of saying. So this woman who supposedly supports Jewish people is literally promoting a neo-fascist. This individual does not appear to have any extremist tattoos yet, but they may be hidden. If you are aware of any, such as swastikas, even covered up, please get in touch. If you want to see like all the tattoos I have, just sign up for my OnlyFans account. And but guess what? You're not going to find any because I don't have any. Yeah, this is from like 2019. I'm speaking about changing the Constitution because, again, I believe in equality, and the current system we have with the Electoral College and the Senate means that certain people in the country get more representation than others. And so I'm arguing for equality, for democracy. Again, that's not technically what that article does. This is on my philosophy channel. Unlinked the description to the video in the description. What this says is that if you believe in an omnigod, right, some type of being that is omnipotent and omniscient, then, and this has been a problem that's, the problem of evil is something that's been around since like St. Augustine. How do you have free will if there's an all-knowing deity that knows everything that you're going to do beforehand? And if this all-knowing deity is allowing evil things like Darrell Brooks, massacring people by running his car through the Waukesha City Parade, then how do you account for the problem of evil? Is your deity actually all good? I mean, these are classic philosophy problems that go back, thousands of years. I will admit, this is, besides the bad subtitles, this is a fairly well edited video, very serious music going on. Okay, the overwhelming majority of Muslims on this planet, especially Sunni Muslims, which is the majority of Muslims, absolutely do believe that any picture of the Prophet Muhammad is blasphemous. This is not a secret, like, well known. This monster was allowed to operate as a journalist in City Hall at a city council meeting. A Jew hater, an America hater, a Christian hater, a terrorism apologist, and deserves no platform in a diverse community. His content should be removed from the local paper, and he should be disallowed special journalist privileges in City Hall. So this person who accuses me of being against the Constitution clearly does not support the First Amendment. Yeah. This is just the bizarre logic that Zionists have. So the only reason I'm even doing this video and bringing up this hit piece video on me, even though I'm not going to link to it, it only has like 50 views. Most of them are probably from leftists that were sending it to me in the first place, is because this is not the first time that Miss Katz and her sycophantic Zionist supporters have targeted me personally. Back in 2017, I was part of an organization called Peoria No Ban No Wall, which was an immigrant justice group. And we posted a video on our Facebook page, probably had the word #FreePalestine on it. And it was a video of IDF soldiers in the occupied city of Hebron shooting tear gas canisters into a Palestinian elementary school. And obviously the implication of showing this video is that one ought not tear gas little children. Seems pretty obvious. But Sue Katz saw this. She saw that we had posted this video. And her group called every single, organization, individual that even had any remote connection with Peoria No Ban No Wall, and said that we were one, anti-Semitic, and that any event that we would do would be a violent event. Now, I've probably organized personally over, 100 protests, most in Peoria, Illinois. Not one of them have ever been violent. In fact, Peoria No Ban No Wall organized several anti-fascist protests, especially right after the Charlottesville incident in 2017, where white supremacists and neo-Nazis, marched through the streets saying that Jews will not replace us, who marched right past one of the oldest synagogues in America, I believe, with Confederate flags and Nazi swastikas. Our group protested against those actions. The whole reason I'm making this video is that this is a very, very common smear tactic that Zionists will use, and that Ms. Katz has been doing for over 2 decades. I've personally met numerous pro-peace activists that as soon as they even imply in any way that Palestinians are human beings and they deserve equal rights, are slandered by Ms. Katz and said that they're anti-Semites and completely violent. I mean, I know peace activists that were protesting against white supremacist Matt Hale back in the 90s, who then went on to support pro-Palestinian causes, who again, Ms. Katz would then attack and say that they're anti-Semites, etc., etc. So I'm making this video basically to say that if you get some phone call or some message from Miss Katz or any other of her cadre of Zionist sympathizers claiming somebody is an anti-Semite or claiming, that they're going to be violent, chances are you should disregard it, because it's probably a lie, since this specific group of people, i.e. Zionists, have a very long habit of smearing and slandering anybody that even dares, put forth that Palestinian people are human beings, that they deserve equal rights, they deserve their own state, etc., etc. So thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe. If you're on Facebook, jump over to YouTube real quick. Hit the subscribe button. We're really trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so that we can get monetized. And keep agitating, keep rising, and we'll see you on the other side. Thanks.